Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is a magic show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to keep my voice down because I am actually at a venue. I'm actually at a venue and I am performing in like an hour. I don't even have a watch. I don't have a watch on. I'm performing in an hour. The ladies group, the local ladies group at the church in my community asked me to come and do some magic for them. I did magic for them last year during COVID, but this is fun because now there's no COVID in my area and the potential that there'll be a lot more people here tonight is kind of high. So I'm expecting like maybe 40 or 50 people. So I'm doing some parlor magic tonight. And so I thought, you know what, I'll just bring my camera. I'll bring my camera, turn it around and point it at me. And I would walk you through my set list and show you the tricks that I put together for this evening. I decided to do all card magic. I decided to do card magic as parlor, really. And so I started looking at some tricks that were already in my repertoire and then a couple of others that I've reviewed and put together a little kind of mentalism / card magic show. And so I'm here an hour and a half before it started because I wanted to get here and make sure that chairs were in the right place and that I had a position and that my table was in the right place. That's a good piece of advice, by the way. If you're ever going to a venue, it doesn't matter if you've been there 1,000 times, okay? Get there early to make sure that everything's gonna be the way you want it. And if there's a sound person, you touch base with them. Tonight, I'm not using a microphone because like I said, it's a small group and I'm in a little back room off to the corner. I actually can't get in there yet because there's a Cub Scout group over there. So there's a Cub Scout group meeting there. So I have to kind of wait till the Cub Scouts finish and then I can run in and set up all my stuff. But I just wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. Let's go. All right, so you can see what everything looks like and I'm up there at the front. Sorry, the camera has got me framed so small. I tried to put my camera in the back of the room where it wouldn't be seen by anybody and it wouldn't be in anyone's way. So I ended up getting a really bad shot. It ended up being about, I think they said there was 32 people in the room. So it was at an audience of about 32 and didn't even notice that the sun was in my eyes the whole time. Or at least I guess the sun went down while I was performing. So like I said, I did 6 tricks. This first one here, this is the whole thing by Daryl. As 4 cards and some cards have holes, some cards don't. And it's just a fun little routine that you can do as stand-up. You don't need any spectators, they just watch you perform. And the trick is that all the cards are blank. And then by the end of the routine, all the cards have red dots or a field of red or words on them. And so it's kind of like, you know, where did all that come from? And I hadn't had that trick before. And I had purchased it specifically for this event because I wanted something that was an opener and that would be fun and fast and lighthearted and kind of get everybody on the same page. The second trick is the man who knows, and this is from Liam Montier and Kmart Magic. And you show different old-timey magicians and their faces, their posters are shuffled and a spectator selects one of the magicians and another spectator selects a card from a deck. And then you reveal a prediction that shows that you knew in advance both the magician that was picked and the card that was selected. This prediction was in a red envelope that I handed to one spectator before I started the night. I actually had 2 prediction envelopes and I gave them both out at the same time. One prediction was for the beginning of my act and one prediction was for the end of my act. And I used this trick as a way to talk a long time. I introduced myself, talked about my own journey in magic, and I also talked about the various magicians and their journey in magic. So my third trick is the McCombical card trick by Billy McComb. And this is actually one of my very first parlor tricks I ever learned, ever purchased. And so it finds itself in a lot of my parlor routines just because it's, for me, it's a classic. And I had the pleasure of meeting Billy McComb at the Magic Castle. And so that kind of adds to the nostalgia for me in why I like this trick so much. In the trick, there's a set of blue cards and a set of red cards. And the spectator is brought up on stage. They sit in a chair and they watch as I show the cards to the audience, but the spectator doesn't get to see everything that the audience gets to see. For instance, the audience gets to see the magician's prediction, but the spectator does not. And so that prediction is placed underneath the spectator. And then the audience gets to see the cards that the spectator will choose from, but again, the spectator does not. And the joke is it's a one-way force deck, and the audience is kind of in on it that there's only one choice the spectator can make. Well, it becomes one of those tricks where it looks like magician got it wrong because the spectator ends up with a card that nobody knew they had, a card that just came out of nowhere. And the kicker is then that the card underneath them also matches, that you were able to place a card underneath them that nobody saw. And I use that trick to jump into my fourth trick, which is the tearing card trick. I've seen Penn and Teller do this on TV. I saw Dan White do this in person when I saw him in New York City. I saw Shin Lim do this live as well. So it's the trick where you give every member of the audience 4 cards, and they tear them in half, and then you run through a little scenario where they hide 1 card and then shuffle the rest. And then you whittle it down to them only having 1 card left. And when they pull the other card out from where they had hit it, the 2 sides match. And that ended up being a really big hit, and probably one of the biggest applauses I had for the entire night. The 5th trick I did was Cardiographic by Martin Lewis. And I used the parlor-sized prop. And of course, I mean, we've seen everyone do this, from David Copperfield to the guy that performed at your community talent show. So it's, you know, Cardiographic is the trick I've had, and it's a card trick without looking like a card trick, and it has that beautiful surprise, and it's a great way to hand out a souvenir to a member of your audience. The last trick, trick 6 that I did, was Casino Royale by Larry Becker, and I reviewed this on my channel not too long ago. It's a trick where you take the audience member on a little trip to the casino, and they pick a poker chip, they pick a set of cards, and then they pick an amount of money to wager. And then you reveal from the audience that you had written down which casino chip they would pick, the total of their 2 cards, and the amount of money that they would select. And then that prediction is also given to the spectator as a souvenir. So all 6 tricks went over great. Nothing bad happened to the whole thing. I was surprised. It went great. It was a great night. It probably got me, I think, 40 minutes. I think it was a 40-minute set. So that's about how long it took. So yeah, 6 tricks, 40-minute set. That was my night. All right, so now it's the next day, and I'm back in my studio and had a good night's sleep. I was really stressed about the show because I hadn't done a show in a really, really long time. Well, a year. I hadn't done a show in a year, and so it was just nice to kind of like dust the cobwebs off and get back out there. And so afterwards, sigh of relief. And like I said, glad that everything went off without a hitch. It was great. So I only really made this video just so I could show you what my set list was. That was it, right? Some people ask, you know, how do you build a set, or which tricks do you do, or in what order? And so I just liked doing it so that I could have that quick opener that was fun and funny, kind of got everybody on the same side as me. And then I handed out my 2 predictions, and it was kind of like saying, you know, this is coming. You know, these things are coming in the show, and it gave them something to look forward to. I did my first prediction right away, and then did the second prediction at the end. It kind of bookended everything, and I had that tearing card trick in the middle so that everyone felt like they were a part of the magic. You know, I couldn't have everybody come up on stage, so this was a nice way for everyone to feel like they had something that was kind of close up, you know, for them, personal for them. And I think for most of them, they followed directions, and, you know, it happened for them. And there was even like a delayed laugh that happened because the trick was over and everyone was surprised. And then one lady said something at the table that just made her whole table laugh. And then the laughter rippled through the audience. And so that was fun too. I kind of had to wait. I was ready to do my next trick, and I had to wait for the laughter to die down and kind of get the ladies all back, you know, together again. I was gonna make a video where I talked about how I selected all the tricks and the props and maybe how I put it all together in my box and how I carried it with me to the show, and then which props I wanted to change and personalize. And then I thought, well, that video might be really long, so maybe I'll save that for the member section or just for a later time. But I wanted to put this out there now just so you guys could see it, see what my set list was. And yeah, that was my only agenda. So yeah, just so you guys could see it and share in the celebration of live magic, right? Live magic is awesome. You should always go out and support live magic. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.